I am the Archdiocese of Bamenda. When I leave here to go to Baruru, or to go to Furawa, or to go to all those places, Konfuka, what am I looking for? Is there a road going to those places? No. And if the Pope comes, and there is a possibility for him to go to Konfuka, he should go and see what we are going through. So why must we fix and say that the roads are not ready for him to come?
Christ our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Good afternoon, media men and women in the Northwest region. You are all welcome to the Archdiocese of Bamenda for this press conference. This press conference is to enlighten all of us about Pope Leo's visit to Cameroon, and in particular to the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda. I, Priscilla Gendia, will be your moderator, and our main speaker will be the Archbishop of Bamenda, His Grace Andrew Nkeya. Our aim is to facilitate the work of media practitioners in the coverage and communication before, during, and after the visit of His Holiness. We'll give the floor to the Archbishop to first of all tell us a bit about the visits. In fact, its significance, because you've been asking me so many questions behind the scene. So I wish that we hear from the horse's own mouth, and you guide us on what we are to do and what we are not going to do. Because there are so many don'ts in this visit, because it's a visit of a head of state. That said, once again, you're welcome, and your grace.
Thank you, Madam Agentia, for this brief introduction. Thank you for this brief introduction, and I'm very happy that I have this chance to meet the press before the visit of the Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV, to Bamenda. You will discover that this came to us as a very, very good news that the Holy Father is going to come to Bamenda within the first year of his pontificate. He was installed in May, on the 18th of May, and during that installation, there was a delegation of 6 bishops from Cameroon who attended that installation in Rome. And from that moment, we have had a very cordial relationship with the new Holy Father. And one of the things that we started hearing as a rumor already in July, August, that the Pope was coming to Cameroon, was confirmed to us by the Vatican in the month of March, the beginning of March. One of the things I must say to you is that truly the Pope is coming, because it has been announced by the Vatican, it has been announced by the state of Cameroon, and it has been announced by the National Episcopal Conference. The Pope is visiting Africa. He will begin in Algeria, and he will go down, come down to Cameroon, and from Cameroon he will go to Angola, and from Angola he will come to Equatorial Guinea, our close neighbors. It is a 10-day visit, and he will be in Cameroon from the 15th of April to the 18th of April. And for those 3 days, the Holy Father is going to visit Yaoundé, Bamenda, Douala, and he'll fly out again from Yaoundé. The most important thing I want to say to you, why the choice of Cameroon? Why the choice of Cameroon? I will say to you that it is God. Nobody understands why the Pope is coming to Cameroon. The Vatican put out filaments about the Pope's first visit to Africa. None of us were expecting it. And he has chosen Cameroon as one of the places he wants to come first. For a Pope to visit any country in the world, he must have 2 invitations. He must have 2 invitations. The church of that country, that is the National Episcopal Conference of that country, must invite the Pope. And secondly, the state must also invite the Pope. As ecclesiastics, we know how the thing functions in a way. And therefore, I can say here without fear or favor that when I was going to attend the installation of the new Pope, I carried 2 letters with me, signed by me. The first letter was the letter of congratulation to Pope Leo XIV on his appointment, on his election and installation. The second letter I carried with me was a letter of invitation to the Pope to come to Cameroon, because many Cameroonians would have loved to attend his installation, but it was practically impossible. And so the Church of Cameroon would be willing to receive the Holy Father in this country. And so this invitation was extended to the Holy Father in May, on the day of his installation. And later on, you drop those things as a formality. But later on, the Vatican services contacted our local church and asked for an invitation from the state, because the Pope cannot come here without the state. And you saw some of us hanging around the presidency. Sometimes it was to negotiate to get a letter of invitation. And at the time we were doing this, it was sub secreto pontificio, under pontifical secret. And so no matter what you commented about us on your media pages, we were not obliged to tell you why we're going there. And therefore, the state of Cameroon invited Pope Leo XIV to come to Cameroon. Why 2 invitations? The Pope is the head of the Catholic Church, the leader of the Catholic Church in the world, the spiritual leader. But at the same time, the Pope is the head of the Vatican State, and therefore he is coming here as the spiritual leader of all Catholics. At the same time, he is coming as the head of the state of the Vatican. And therefore, the head of state cannot just decide to go to another person's country without an invitation. And that is why we needed 2 invitations. And these 2 invitations came very spontaneously and with a lot of goodwill. That is how we got 2 invitations. The theme of the Pope's visit to Cameroon is May they all be one. The theme is May they all be one. And this theme was chosen by the National Episcopal Conference in consultation with the Holy See. And therefore, we chose this theme in the backdrop of the things that are happening within our country, in the backdrop of political disturbances, in the backdrop of ethnic divisions, in the backdrop of the spread of hate language, in the backdrop of the things that are going on in the regions around this country, we turned to the scriptures, to the priestly prayer of Christ, may they all be one. This oneness has nothing to do with politics. This oneness has to do with the human person, with the Church of Christ and the creatures of God. Love one another. This loving one another has to do with the oneness that we're expecting for our country. When the Pope arrives Yaoundé, he will be received by the church and the state, and he will have to pay a courtesy call to the head of state who invited him to Cameroon. And that same day, he is going to meet with the National Episcopal Conference in the Episcopal Conference Center in Yaoundé. And the very next day in the morning, he will visit Bamenda. And the theme of his visit to Bamenda is, my peace I give you, my peace I leave you. That is very important for us, and this was chosen by the bishops of the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda. John chapter 14, verse 27. My peace I leave you, my peace I give you. And then, this visit to Bamenda is a visit to the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda, comprising Goya, Kumba, Mamfe, Kumbu, and Bamenda. He will go to visit Douala. He is not visiting the city of Douala, but in the city of Douala, he is visiting the ecclesiastical province of Douala, which comprises of Bafoussam, Bafang, Nkonsamba, Ezeka, Edeya, and Douala. So all these dioceses are supposed to converge in Douala under the leadership of the Metropolitan Archbishop of Douala. And the focus on that visit is the youth. The youth. And for the youth, the theme that was chosen by Douala is, give them yourselves something to eat. Give them yourselves something to eat. We know how much unemployment exists among our young people. We know how much our young people are looking forward to leaving the country and going to what they call greener pastures, even if it is Central African Republic. They want to leave. Why are they leaving? So, the theme of Douala, give them yourselves something to eat. Don't wait for somebody else to give them something to eat. And then, Yaoundé. Yaoundé, because of its central position, is going to host 3 ecclesiastical provinces. The ecclesiastical province of Garoua, which comprises of Yagua, Marwa Mokolo, Ngaoundéré, and Garoua. They are all supposed to converge in Yaoundé.
the ecclesiastical province of Betua, which comprises of Yukaduma, Paturi, Dume, and Betua. They are supposed to converge in Yaoundé. And finally, the ecclesiastical province of Yaoundé, which comprises of Bolova, Sambelima, Balmayo, Kribi, and Obala, and Bafia. They are all supposed to converge in Yaoundé. So 3 ecclesiastical provinces are converging in Yaoundé. And the theme for Yaoundé province is love and truth have met, justice and peace have embraced. Love and truth have met, justice and peace have embraced. That is from Psalm 84, verse 11. This is very important for us to understand. And the Holy Father is going to come to Bamenda on the 16th of April. He will leave Yaoundé and arrive at the airport in Bamenda around 11 o'clock. We'll give you the precise times. And in the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Mankan, he is going to have a meeting with traditional rulers. He is going to meet with members of the civil society. He is going to meet with the elites of the Northwest region. He is going to meet with members of the Islamic and Protestant communities. And he is going to meet with a great section of the Catholic community. All these will form part of the group that you will meet in the cathedral. There will be some few IDPs that will be in that hall for that meeting. And members of civil authorities will also be there. And after that meeting, he will have a brief stop in the Archbishop's house, and then he will go back to the airport of Bamenda, where he is going to celebrate Holy Mass. And after the Mass, he will go back to Yaoundé, because they want, according to the Vatican protocol, the Pope will spend all the night only in the Nunciature. One of the main things I want to insist to you, the members of the media, is that the Pope is coming here, and practically everywhere he is going, you are not entering without a pass. But the pass is free. FREE. There is no money transacting for passes. The passes will be given out by the organizing committee, and the journalists will be accredited by the committee, and everyone who is going to be in the cathedral will have a pass. Everyone who is going to be in the cathedral square will have a pass. Anyone who is going to go into the journalism box or the place where the journalists are sitting will need a pass. And I want to repeat again, because we have seen some very uncomfortable things on social media which have no basis. Nobody is having a pass by paying. Every pass is free. And what are the impacts we are expecting from this visit of the Holy Father? The Holy Father cannot go anywhere without impacting the community. On the spiritual base, the National Episcopal Conference has published a prayer which everybody is saying, beginning from Maramkolo, that is from Kuseri, down to Kyosi.
we are praying for the success of the visit and for the visit to have an impact in our community. Tomorrow, the whole Archdiocese of Bamenda is going to Jangma on our Lenten pilgrimage. And that pilgrimage is going to focus on prayer for the success of the visit of the Pope. Thirdly, on the infrastructural level, we cannot say more than what your eyes are seeing, what is happening in the town of Bamenda in preparation for the coming of the Pope to Bamenda. The airport has been renovated, streets are being tarred and fixed up, and everywhere is being renovated. This is also in keeping with the African tradition that if you are going to have a guest, you prepare to receive that guest. And also in Douala and Yaoundé, a lot of infrastructural improvement is being done for the visit of the Holy Father. And we know that following the themes that we have given to the various places for the Pope's visit, we're expecting that if the Holy Father comes to Bamenda and speaks to us about peace, some ears that have been hardened for the past 8 years will hear. And if he speaks to us about my peace I give you, my peace I leave you, this is going to impact and soften some hearts that have been hardened. If he goes and speaks to the young people in Douala, and he speaks to the entire community, political and civil, in Yaoundé, we expect that some things will touch the hearts of the people. And therefore, my dear friends, on the grounds of our visit here, this is what I can say to you. For all these three places, the Archbishop or the Metropolitan is the point of reference. And therefore, if you want to know anything about the visit of Douala, contact the Archbishop's house in Douala. If you want to know anything about the visit in Yaoundé, contact the Archbishop's house in Yaoundé. And in Bamenda, contact the Archbishop's house of Bamenda. Above all, for general information, you'll be able to contact the Secretary General of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon. These are the few points that I wanted to bring to you, and we encourage you all to report this visit in the most objective way that you can, and the Church does not have any intention to politicize this visit. It is a pastoral visit. The Pope, as the universal pastor, the Vicar of Christ, and the Supreme Pontiff, is coming out to visit his flock. And this is what we are saying to each one of you. In these three venues, Yaoundé, Bamenda, and Douala, the Pope is going to celebrate Holy Mass. And during those three Holy Masses, he is going to give a message during the homily following the theme that has been chosen for each of those particular places. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Grace. Quite elaborate. We'll now open the floor for media practitioners to ask questions on the theme, on the Pope's visit. If you have any other question that you want the Archbishop to explain, he is always available. Today, it is the Pope's visit. And Father Bertus Asante, you will indicate with a hand show. Father Bertus will give you the floor so that you ask your question and the Archbishop will answer.
We have a simple methodology. You introduce yourself, your media house, and you pose a question.
Thank you, Your Grace. And I also greet the Auxiliary Bishop, Monsignor.
I want to suggest that we are greeted. When you stand up, just ask a question, and it is not good to make commentaries. Don't stand and start telling us that what you have said is correct. Just ask a question. If you don't have a question, there's no need to stand. Sorry for interrupting you.
Thank you, Your Grace. My name is Richard Nde. I work with the Herald Tribune newspaper. Your Grace, from the outline of the program and those who will be meeting the Pope here at the Cathedral, you mentioned a few group of people, and I didn't hear about the Pope meeting also those who are, because you talked about the IDPs, but those who are in those who have dropped their arms and are in the center there, please. I don't know if there's any chance that the Pope is also going to meet some of these people, understanding that the crisis, they were part of the crisis, they dropped their arms, and they are now at the center. I'm thinking that maybe from there they'll be able to also talk to the outside community.
The Pope is going to, you see, he's not going to meet individual groups. He's going to meet the community together. It is possible that in that community, the civil society, there may be one or two people who are dropping arms. You're hiding behind the cameras. Nobody's seeing you and you're not seeing the crowd. So either it's the cameras or it's the straight.
Your Grace, you said it well, that the Pope is coming on pastoral visit. Could you suggest to us how, on the spot, given our situation in the Northwest and Southwest, can you just suggest how just the Pope's speech, how just the Pope's coming is going to bring peace to us?
You see, peace is not like a switch which you put on and off. Peace is a process, and the Pope's speech is going to assist us in the process of trying to reach definitive peace. And my only thing I can say to you is that I cannot preempt the Pope's speech. I don't know the Pope's speech. When he comes here, all of us will open our ears and listen with anxiety, and we are going to hear what he's going to say. And definitely, with his wide experience and with the presence of the Holy Spirit in him, I'm sure what he will say to us will help us a long way in the process of reaching peace.
My name is Emmanuel Kendeme. I'm Chief of Cameroon Tribune for the Northwest. I just want one clarification. His Grace, are you giving the press conference as the Archbishop of Bamenda or as the President of the National Episcopal Conference? That's a precision we want to know.
I am giving as both, because I was supposed to have given this press conference in Yaoundé, but looking at the events that we have at hand, the ordination of the auxiliary bishop, the approach of Holy Week, and all those things, it has been very difficult to get this press conference in Yaoundé. So I decided to give the press conference at the seat of my episcopal see. So I'm speaking as President of the National Episcopal Conference, and at the same time as the Archbishop of Bamenda. It doesn't cancel any other press conference I can give in the future.
Frédéric Lacan, c'est mon nom, journaliste à BBC. Monseigneur, je voulais savoir si vous pensez réellement que la visite du pape peut influencer, parce que le thème c'est la paix, peut influencer vraiment la dynamique de paix, ou bien peut-être les partis qui sont dans le conflit, qui sévit dans les régions.
Je peux vous dire franchement que l'Église a l'expérience pour 2000 ans. Donc ça, ce n'est pas le premier conflit que l'Église regarde ou bien essaye de résoudre. Et quand vous voyez que le Saint-Père vient comme ça, c'est ce que vous voyez. Mais au-dessus, il y a beaucoup de travail que l'Église a déjà fait, n'est-ce pas, pour arriver à un certain niveau de paix. Donc nous espérons que quand le pape va venir ici, ces mots, ces homélies, les rencontres vont aider aussi à arriver, n'est-ce pas, à la paix durable.
From behind.
Thank you very much, Conference. I take content for the motorcycle, formerly the Conference Factor. My question is on your team, the general team for the visit. May they all be one. Unfortunately, you said that you also be the Islamic and the other Protestant churches. But to the one, it also means there needs to be a process. How involved are these other groups, religious groups? How involved are they in the preparation of this visit? How the church, Catholic Church involved them in the preparation of it? They only the one when the book comes.
We have already contacted the other religious leaders. The Muslim community has been contacted. The traditional rulers who are priests of the traditional religions within their communities, they have been contacted. The Anglican community has been contacted through the bishop, and the Protestant community also. And 2 days ago, the Rama community was at the airport cutting grass and digging stones. It's not a Catholic thing. It is an affair of the whole community. The Pope is coming to visit Cameroon. Catholics, yes, but people of goodwill and Cameroonians. And therefore, all the others are involved already in the preparation. And I will say to you that many of them have already taken a lot of measures towards the smooth functioning of that visit.
Yes, sir. I'm Randy Josa, freelance journalist, publisher of the Daily Voice newspaper. We've heard so much of what the Pope might say or the issues he will be tackling. But what would be there for him to take away? What would he see, especially in terms of our culture and traditions? Is there a package for him to see? And secondly, you've mentioned how some hearts would be softened or should be softened when they hear but there are those hearts that are so hard that will not be softened. And perhaps what will soften their heart is if the Pope talks about justice, because the justice is an underlying factor in the crisis we are having in the country. So somehow have to be able to lobby for the Pope to address this issue. Thank you.
The first part there, you were talking about take away of our culture. When you talk about take away of our culture, Cameroonian people have a very dynamic and diverse culture. And from the moment the Holy Father arrives Yaoundé, of course, there will be all kinds of cultural dances there to receive him. And when it comes to Bamenda, it is the same. A lot of our culture is going to be showcased in that airport when the Pope comes out of the plane. And the cultural committee has ensured that from that airport, at every junction, there will be a cultural group displayed until it gets to the cathedral. And when it gets to the cathedral esplanade, there will be also many cultural groups that will be displaying there. And for us, this is very important that he sees us in the culture in which we live. So this is the first part of it. In the academic culture in Yaoundé, you'll be meeting intellectuals. And those are the people with whom he's going to discuss the culture of intelligence. The intellectual world will be meeting in Yaoundé. And the other half of your thing is that this is one of the most complicated visits of the Pope I've seen. Because everybody has something to tell the Pope what to say. It's a little bit exaggerated. Tell the Pope to talk about justice. Tell the Pope to talk about human rights. Tell the Pope to talk about... Why don't you just leave the man come and say what he's coming to say? Then you will hear what he has come to say. If we had things to tell him, we could have just written down the things and said it ourselves. He is coming to visit us, and let us just be open to hear what he is coming to say. We cannot start telling him that when you come, say this, say this. Let us just say it among ourselves and tell him not to come. So it is important for us to be open to listen to the message. And like the Prophet Isaiah says, just as rain never comes and goes back without watering the earth, so the word from my mouth can never come back and go back without achieving the effects for which it was meant. Let us just be open.
Greetings, Your Grace. I am Harold Kwamo, representing Chief Media as well as a freelance journalist. Yeah, the theme of the visit, as you put it, is Mide One. And in your presentation, you made mention of the fact that the visit is not should not be politicized, as well as that it is a pastoral visit. But when we look at just from the theme and what has been happening in our country for the past 10 years, are we not sincere to ourselves that the Pope is actually coming for this issue, to actually see how we can actually stop the political crisis that we're having in the country? Thank you, Your Grace.
You see, one thing I'll say to you is that the Pope is the head of state of his own country. He is a sovereign. That's why I call him sovereign pontiff. I don't expect the head of state of Cameroon, Mr. Paul Biya, to go to the Vatican and tell the Pope what to do. You cannot expect the reverse. Don't expect the Pope to come here and give instructions to another sovereign head of state. He is coming here as a pastor. Pastors don't have police. They preach the gospel of peace, justice, love, unity. If it touches you, take it. If you don't touch it, leave it. So when he comes here and preaches as a pastor, he will preach to everybody. And definitely, some hearts will be touched. But we don't expect the Pope to leave the Vatican to come to Cameroon to give instructions to the Cameroon government what to do in their country. That's not his work. That's not his work. So he cannot be coming here to come and solve Cameroonian political problem. That is not his duty. Yeah, it's not his duty. He will come here and preach as a pastor. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear.
My name is Charles Uji. I report for the Pilot newspaper. I just want to know, to be sure of effective media coverage, whether there's any coordinated net of transport the journalists between the airport and the cathedral? Thank you.
This has to be greatly coordinated with the media of the country, the Cameroon radio television, because we discovered that the Holy Father's plane is going to have at least 80 international journalists in his plane. And if you look at the media houses of Cameroon, Northwest, Southwest, everywhere, we'll be having close to 800 journalists running around where the Pope is. This is a big difficulty. And so what we are going to try to do, as we have discussed in the meetings, for media houses that are doing mobile images, moving images, you are going to tap your images from Cameroon television, because we have given them 2 journalists who are going to accompany them. They are going to report according to the Catholic Church. So Father Chimchua Philip of Yaoundé, National Episcopal Conference of Yaoundé, is going to run the commentaries in French. He's a priest of the Archdiocese of Garoua, and he is the national coordinator for social communication in the conference. Father Humphrey Tatambui is going to run the commentaries in English on behalf of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon. The Pope's visit here is basically pastoral, and therefore we have the cameras and we do the reporting. The second thing is that there is a committee. Mr. George Yenika is the general coordinator for communications. As the time goes nearer, he is going to call a meeting of the media practitioners and give you the precisions of how the coverage will be done. So you'll wait for a communique from Mr. George Yenika when he has finalized, because he's the communication person on the side of the church. Thirdly, the Vatican Communication Service has been here twice already to prepare for this visit, meet with the communication of the state and the communication persons of the church. These 3 organs are going to come together, work out those modalities, call a meeting of the media practitioners, and give you the precisions of how you are going to function.
Dr. Please, a follow-up. A follow-up, please. A follow-up. Thank you. 2 days ago, we had a communique from the Minister of Communication announcing for accreditation that journalists who would want to cover the Pope's visit have to be accredited at the level of the ministry. And Your Grace is talking about a committee that is going to issue a pass to journalists that are going to cover the Pope's visit.
Not to call sure, Ministry of Communication is part of that committee.
Thank you, Your Grace. One of the feedbacks we've gotten about the visit is about security, Your Grace. How safe will be the Holy Father when he comes to Cameroon?
How safe is Andrew Care in Bamenda? I have said this to journalists more than ever. If the Pope were to wait until Bamenda is most safe, what's he coming to do here? He's coming to visit the sheep that is suffering. So you want to wait until the sheep is no more suffering. Then you are coming to do what? So the Pope is coming to visit us in our condition. And I think that the greater love has no man than to lay down his life for his sheep. If he cannot lay down his life for us, how can he be our pastor?
Your Grace, my name is Funjon. I'm a head communicator, a freelance. I just want to find out from your request. One of the predecessors of the Pope was in Cameroon some time ago, about 3 years. He preached enculturation. Now, what will you be telling him about the impact of enculturation and the growth of Catholicism? Because it was here that was launched. And what is the impact? Because it was for all African countries. So what is it telling me about the impact of peace and strategy of religious?
The Pope John Paul II was in Bamenda 40 years ago, and we received him at the airport. And that is when he came to see us, and he came back 10 years later to launch, that's in 1995, to launch Ecclesia in Africa. And when he launched Ecclesia in Africa, it is then that he spoke about enculturation. Enculturation is not for him, it's for us. To incarnate the gospel into our culture. And so when you ask me, I can explain to you how enculturation has impacted evangelization in this province of Cameroon and in the Church of Cameroon in general. If you look at the xylophones that we play in the church, the cultural songs that are sung in the church, you look at how the processions, especially with the lectionary, is being done in the culture. We have brought in our culture into the church in a very wonderful way. In all the churches of Cameroon, it's not only in Bamenda. And therefore, when you look at enculturation, our church has gone a very, very long way. We are not doing this for the Pope. But definitely, when the Pope will come, and he's saying Mass in Bamenda, he's going to say Mass. How will he say Mass? With all these things, for example, our choir is going to be of 600 people. And all those 600 people are going to be in Danchiki, this Bamenda gown, this short thing that we wear. And this is very new. And it's going to, we're not wearing graduation gowns like forest choirs will wear. We are wearing our own cultural gown to be in that choir. So he will be seeing it, we don't need to tell him. He will just be seeing it.
Thank you, Your Grace, for the opportunity. My name is Emmanuel Tan, reporter for International Catholic Media, Sierra Non-Profit. Your Grace, last few weeks, Cardinal Tucson appeared was in Douala to attend the 70th anniversary of the celebration of the Archdiocese of Douala. And in one of his allocations, he said something which is very important. He said, the best gift that Cameroon will be preparing for the Holy Father will not be a material, it's not a material gift or any other gift, but a reconciliation plan that the government that the Cameroon I wish to know, with this, what he said, what is your stake, what do you think about it? Is it the government to present this plan of action, this reconciliation program, or is it the Episcopal?
First, the Cardinal came here to attend, as you say, the 70th anniversary of the creation of Douala Archdiocese that was created in 1955. And at the end of the Mass, when he was greeting the people, he advised and suggested that the best gift that Cameroon can give to the Pope is to make a reconciliative plan, a plan of reconciliation, how they are moving towards reconciliation. I was present So I heard this viva voce. The most important thing is for you to know that the way the church works and the way society works with journalists is very different. I will say it can be like night and day. 90% of the things we do quietly because we want results. I don't care about popularity. I want results. But the way the world behaves, they need popularity, not results. And therefore, you do any small thing, you shout on the streets and put on social media, I have done this, I'm going to do this, and I will do this tomorrow. The church does not work like that. Before the cardinal makes a statement like that, it means that a lot has been going on the ground and water has been passing under the bridge. And therefore, the state understands what he was saying. And we too understand what he was saying. When the moment shall come when we are seeing the results, you will understand. But we cannot go now and start talking because the same you will spoil everything. So let us keep it at that level, that we are working and that what we want is results, not popularity.
Thank you so much for the question. The last response to my colleague's question just gives us the impression that maybe partly what we've been reading on social media about a speculated arrival of governance company, presidential election, such woman may just be part of a visit. But away from that, I don't want you to respond to that. If it happens, okay. But away from that, I would like to table just two worries. First of it, but what it says is this visit, seeing that Cameroon has hosted about two popes, first Pope John Paul and then Pope Benedict. What it says is a visit to Cameroon, seeing that after their visit, Cameroon has continued to know a lot of evil vices almost on an alphabetic progression. And then secondly, as important as the visit is, and cognizant of the caliber of person that is visiting Cameroon, do you think Bamenda is a city enough worthy of receiving the Pope just to inspire things to be visit? The town is still so messy, the roads are even so bad, electricity tracks are almost on a daily basis, and water flow is almost comparable. Do you really think Bamenda is enough? Bamenda is a city enough worthy of visit?
I would like to start with your last question. Ladies and gentlemen, understand me very well. I am a pastor. I am not a politician. Pope Leo XIV is a pastor. Where there is one sheep, the pastor is obliged to go, even in the hole. So if Pope Leo is only visiting places and cities that have been fixed, then how did he see the pastor? Where there is one sheep, so if the roads end like this, the Pope is not coming to see roads. He is not coming here for infrastructural inspection. He is coming here to see the sheep. Where there is one sheep, the pastor is obliged to go. I am the Archbishop of Bamenda. When I leave here to go to Baruru, or to go to Furawa, or to go to all those places, Konfuka, what am I looking for? Is there a road going to those places? No. And if the Pope comes, and there is a possibility for him to go to Konfuka, he should go and see what we are going through. So why must we fix and say that the roads are not ready for him to come? And the first question was about what? Chiroma. All right, sorry, it's okay. That's all right. It has come back to my mind. St. Paul's letter to Timothy tells us that preach the gospel in season and out of season, accepted or unaccepted. And therefore, why do churches exist at all? So Jesus will come and preach the gospel, converted the world, and there will be no more evil. No matter how much the church preaches, there will be evil. And therefore, preaching is continuous. That's why I say if the Pope comes to Bamenda and preaches peace to 1 million people, if one man gets converted, it was worth the trouble for him to leave Rome and come here. You cannot convert everybody. And therefore, there are people who will tell you that their life changed because they met Pope John Paul II in 1985. There are people who will tell you that since enculturation was put in ecclesia in Africa, they now love going to church. But not everybody is going to church. There are people who will tell you that since Pope Benedict published Africe Munus with justice, reconciliation, and peace, he is now understanding the social teaching of the church. So one person may benefit, some will never ever convert. And therefore, you don't expect everybody to convert. Pope will come and say, peace be with you, and then immediately peace will return. This is not a switch. You put on, peace has gone. You put it back on, peace has come. It is a process. The Pope is coming to contribute in the process of Cameroonians knowing peace.
I think from every indication, we'll likely take the last question and then we'll conclude with the press conference. So if you need or if you want any other clarification as far as the papal visit is concerned, you can now pose your question before we end the press conference.
Sorry for coming back. I just wish to have a question to bring, and also the auxiliary churches. If when we meet the Pope in Yaoundé on tete-a-tete at the Episcopal Conference,
your friends are talking, so I'm not hearing what you're saying. I said your friends were talking, so I'm not hearing what you're saying.
Okay, sorry. I was asking, I was trying to ask, if with the president, during your tete-a-tete at the Episcopal Conference, what question, what do you have for
You will discover that the meeting is what you describe as tete-a-tete. It means I should not tell you the question.
Take one final question, and then we'll end the press conference.
Thank you very much. Your Grace, I'm so emotional with this question because the coming of the Pope to Cameroon, we are expecting a lot of beautiful things. And we know that since we lost the only cardinal we have in Cameroon, and we've been hearing how possible is that we might have a cardinal when the Papa comes to Cameroon?
I can answer you that question, but you are expecting a cardinal to be announced in Cameroon during the visit. It is impossible. Holy Father does not announce cardinals when he goes around. It is the fruit of a consistory which ends up with his announcement on the window. And it is his private prerogative. Nobody, it's not by majority vote or by popularity. He will decide the day he wants. But if anybody is expecting that he will come to Cameroon and stand on the window of the conference and announce something, then it means that the Catholic Church has changed. So just relax yourselves, and the day that the Pope will decide, he will do it. But if the Pope does not do it, the church is vibrant and is going ahead all the same. So I want to sincerely thank you for all your questions. And as I said again, the Holy Father's visit here is God's church. And we have been having a lot of discussions. What I will say to you again without fear or favor is that some enthusiastic people may destroy some of the fruits that we're expecting from this. Too many of you are giving the Pope instructions on social media and on private letters. And when you put those letters and all those things on social media, you create tension between the people who are trying to negotiate and help. And some people will back out of talks because you are putting too much stress and pressure. Relax. Relax. The Pope is not a child to be schooled. Before he decided to come here, he knows your country and everything through and through. So stop writing to the bishop and say, tell him that. He knows those things before coming here. Before choosing to come here, he has all the intelligence. So I just want to assure you that the Holy Father is coming here as a pastor to preach the gospel. Whether you like it or not, that gospel will touch some people. Even the hearts that some of you call hearts of stone, they will be touched by that gospel. Thank you very much.
I want to thank all the media practitioners for coming. We are so elated that you turn out in your numbers, and we are sure that what you have got here will enable us to an effective coverage of the Pope's visits. Therefore,
before I give the blessing, I want to say that I'm very surprised that no woman asked a question. Either they're being intimidated by the men or they are given our help in the name of the Lord. Glory be to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit,
as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.
May the blessing of Almighty God, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit come upon you and remain with you forever and ever. Amen. The level of preparations for the Pope's visit, I think, is very, very high. I will say that on the side of liturgical preparations, we are set because we have a 600-man choir and we have everything for the liturgy, the vestments and all that ready. For the infrastructural development, we are still trying to round up things. And we are talking with the state authorities because we are having combined committees to work out the arrival of the Pope. And therefore, looking at these infrastructural developments, the work is advancing and we are having very high hopes that before that day of the visit, the roads will be done and electricity on those roads will be put up. And like Cameroonians always say, l'impossible n'est pas camerounais. So we are waiting and we know that before that day, preparations will be accomplished and the Pope will have a successful visit in Bamenda.
You're going to talk about different things specific to the country and different regions. What are these things and why the choice of them?
I mentioned that the national theme has to do with may they all be one. The priestly prayer of Jesus Christ. He's talking about religious unity. He's talking about human unity. He's talking about love as the basis of our unity. Love one another. If Cameroonians were to start loving one another, they will not be fighting and killing one another. They will not be cheating one another. There will no longer be corruption in the scale that we have it. but love one another. So the unity we are talking about is based on this love. Secondly, there are provincial themes, sub-themes. In Bamenda, my peace I give you, my peace I leave you. In Douala, give them something yourselves to eat. That is, the Pope will be speaking to the young people. And in Yaoundé, we are talking about justice and peace, love and truth have embraced. So these are the sub-themes that we have for the Pope's visit and the main theme, which he is going to be talking to us about. Thank you.